Hello everybody, I'm back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Saturday the 1st, and today was a rather interesting day. Got up this morning, headed out, and went and did a little yard selling. Found a great big, I'm going to guess, probably 4.5 gallon fish bowl, great big bowl. The lady said she really didn't know if she wanted to sell it. She had $3 on it. I offered her two. She kind of hawed around a little bit, and I said, yeah, it's a vintage $2 bill from 1976, and she was, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And so it's funny and crap because I handed it to her, and the husband was like, oh, you really meant a $2 bill, and they were all excited about it. And I'm like, why would I say $2 bill if I didn't mean $2 bill? But that was kind of funny. She was wanting to use it as like a raffle jar to drop like tickets and stuff and then draw out at Honey Creek, but she went ahead and let go of it for that. She said she was afraid she'd break it before then. I said, well, now you've jinxed me. I'll probably break on me now before I get around to using it. So part of me thinks I want to just leave it a fish bowl. Part of me thinks it'd make a really nice terrarium for maybe some succulents and that. But another giant part of me really wants to drill a hole in the bottom of it, which I've drilled glass quite a bit. This has got a weird, it's a hand-blown bowl, so it might drill funny. I might not try it, but it's $2 if I lose it. And pump water up through it from the bottom and have it overflow in the top, like the middle of like a center of like a little lawn pond, little koi pond type thing. It'd be really kind of cool looking, just sticking up out of the pond, the water overflowing the top of it. It'd be kind of a neat little look, but who knows what I'll do there. Then I went down to the shed, spent, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 hours on the shed, going through, organizing stuff. We're actually going to take a bunch of stuff down to the auction house and just kind of dump it out. We got a bunch of stuff that really, it's not as great as we thought. We ended up buying a lot of stuff where she was buying a box full of crap that she needed an item or two out of. We sold an item or two and then never dumped the stuff. So it's one of those things that instead of paying it to haul it off to the dump, still got some value. Somebody's going to want it. So we went ahead and we're going to take it down to the auction house hopefully and get a few bucks out of it. I'd like to make a little bit of money on it instead of paying to haul it off. And there's a lot of good stuff in there that somebody's going to want to find a good use for, I'm hoping. So did that, and then we had our cancer run, actually walk, I guess, keep saying run, although it was a cancer walk today from noon to midnight. Decided to go down to it. My buddy came over from Ottumwa. We met, hung out a little bit right down there, and got there about a half an hour early. We were actually scheduled to walk from 7 to 8. I told him we were probably going to go ahead and do 2 hours from 7 to 9, because an hour just didn't seem like crap to us as much as we run anymore. So, and neither one of us had really ran very far yet. I haven't run more than, I think, 5, maybe 6 miles since I was sick as hell here a while back. I got super sick after the Susan G. Komen cancer run. It was just got nasty sick then. So definitely it was going to be interesting how it went. We got there. We started running a little early because we were only scheduled to run from 7 to 8. So we started running about 6:30. Figured we'd stop about 7:30, and then we had other people for the gym that were signed up for the 8 to 9 instead of making us wait around for half an hour to start. Went ahead and just started to kind of get it over with and that. Really glad we done that because as we were going, we started off a little bit fast. My buddy wanted to run 11-minute pace, which I hate running that slow. My body just does not like that at all. So took off. We were running like real high 9, mid 9, high 9-minute pace. Kept slowing down a little bit and got down in that 10-minute, range at the end and stuff. Worked out pretty good for us and actually got up to almost 11-minute pace at the very end, which is what we wanted to be on the whole time, but it happened. There was also a young kid there who was kind of, I don't know, thinking he was going to like races and stuff, which he'd walked a few laps, he'd kind of jog a little bit, then he'd walk a few laps, and every time we'd come by, he would kind of take off kind of running with us, and then a little ways down the road, 20, 30 yards down the way, he would cut the course and go back over by his mom and that and walk with them or whoever else he was with. So it was one of those things where he was kind of cheating a little bit at that point with us, and I was like, I didn't really care, it's no big deal. And then he came up there and kind of started taunting us like he wanted to race us kind of thing. And I thought, dude, we've already put in at this point like 8 miles or so. I'm like, we're kind of out here for a slow run. We're not really into this running crap. And then he's turning around backwards like jogging and trying to like taunt us a little bit and that. And I was just like, whatever, dude, have fun. High school track, athlete. I don't know if he's a star or whatever, but he's out there. And he claimed he's on the high school track team. And I was like, I got no time for this. I'm an old man. I don't need this crap. And then my buddy, he turned around, took off kind of sprinting a little bit ahead. My buddy kind of got this look in his eyes that Marine kind of had been insulted, I think, a little bit of being run backwards in front of. And he took off like to chase this kid down. And I took off also with him thinking, well, the two of us will chase him down. It'd be even more embarrassing to get beat by 2 old men, not just one. And I caught the kid, and then he realized we were like, he really tried to turn on to run as hard as he could. And we were about neck and neck there for a little bit. And as I had warmed up there, as I kind of started stretching out, I realized I wasn't running as hard as I could. So I started sprinting, and I started really picking my pace up. And I started really kicking some butt there, and I really started ripping it. And we were running down like about 100 yards down the track right there in front of everybody and stuff. And I just pulled that kid. I probably had him by 5 yards. at least like 45, 50 yards into it. I was ahead by 5 yards, and I started kind of taunting him, like, dude, come on, I thought you were going to run. I started giving him a hard time, and just whooped his ass on there. So I was pretty happy that I destroyed this high school kid after running 7 or 8 miles and still had another, however, we ended up doing just over 11 miles total. So I still had 3 miles plus to go, whatever. So I was definitely pretty excited about that. Told the kid to go ahead and take a few more laps and then, rest up, and I'd be happy to do him again in the running. But luckily, never kind of saw him. The last probably 45 minutes or so of it, half an hour at least, it started raining on us. We got soaking wet. Wind was blowing. It was in the 60s for the temperature, low 60s, maybe high 50s. Definitely wasn't a big fan of that at all. But we got just soaking wet. Couldn't stand. Our glasses were all spotted up, and that kind of sucked. And virtually everybody packed up, including the team, Snap Fit and that. They packed their tent up and all that shit. Before it even started raining, they were packed up and leaving. And it was really disappointing. It really kind of pissed me off that we're out here running for you and your team, and you can't even leave your tent set up. You can't even hang out. You can't even support us in that. We had a few people do the whole congratulations, whatever stuff. We were the only two guys that ran we ran for 2 hours, and nobody else ran anywhere near that. A couple of guys would run a little bit, then stop. One lady would run a lap, then she'd walk a couple laps, and she'd run a lap. But we were the only two guys in the time we were there that did anywhere close to running the 2 hours. So one lady was there supporting her mom. She actually had walked 15 miles. She was on her 15th mile lap as we went by her. And, she there's a big group walking to that lap. And she told them all, like, oh, wait, the runners come by. So everybody kind of scouted our way because they'd blocked the whole track off for us. So we ran by, and at that point we were closing in on the 11-mile mark. And she was pretty excited about that. Although she'd made 15, although it had been from noon to 8:15 instead of us doing it from 6:30 to 8:15. So definitely we are going on a much faster pace than her. But I'm thinking next year, if they do it again, I think I might try and talk my buddy into doing it with an hour run, hour off, hour run, hour off, and to see how many we knock out. Because that'd put us in about 36 miles in the 12-hour period. And it'd be a good training to see if we can do that 202 race, which is where you run for 202 miles with just two guys. So be a nice little training for that concept, because that's 48 hours worth, and this will only be 12 hours worth. So be a nice little training program, see if we can knock it out. So that's all I've got going on today. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Get out there and help out a charity.